Major fallout from New Jersey as everybody acknowledges the scandal of illegals voting and the Democrats don't know what to say. Let's go.
Let's go.
A few minutes late today, but thanks for being here on a busy day. Mikie Sherrill is such a fraud, and listening to her go on and on about how it was a software glitch. This was no glitch. This wasn't a boating accident. It was a shark. It was deliberate. As you know, I grew up in New Jersey politics, literally grew up in New Jersey politics, and I've seen it all. I've seen them hand out cigarettes and street money. I've seen dead people vote. I've literally watched the dead rise from the grave and vote in New Jersey. This was no glitch. And the company that was hired to handle all this for the New Jersey Motor Vehicles Commission, they came out and said as much too. Like, hey, don't blame us, man. We gave the information to the state election board and the supervisor. They're the ones who are supposed to verify it. And is it a matter of they didn't? Or is it a matter of they did and just didn't care that you had non-citizens who were registered to vote? And all of this can be traced back to his royal rugness, King Phillip the Unaccountable Murphy, who decided he was going to give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. Yes, that's right. So then what they did was when you got a driver's license, you were automatically registered to vote. And you had to self-affirm. You had to put your hand on the, I swear, I'm a citizen. And that's all it took. That was it. And no safeguards, no checks, nothing. Now, major developments in this, you have the Trump administration suing the state of New Jersey, saying we want to see the voting rolls. And you've got everybody coming out right now and saying that this is just the tip of the iceberg. A buddy of mine had a great analogy, and I won't say his name on the air, but he said it like this. It's like when you're dating and the conversation comes up about your number, like whatever that number is, the number of people you've been with, multiply it by 10. And then pretty much you have an accurate answer of how many partners they've had in the past. It's kind of like that with New Jersey fraud. It is whatever this number is, 6,600, multiply it by 10,000. And you'll probably get a more accurate picture of the fraud. All deliberate, none of it by accident. And don't even pretend like you're going to blame the software company on this, but that's exactly what Governor Mikie Sherrill is trying to do. Blame the software company, and it's not going to work. It's not going to fly. Put this up on the screen for you. This is a graphic. Congressman Josh Gottheimer, a Democrat congressman, but in a swing district in New Jersey, the old New Jersey 5 that I used to work for when Congressman Scott Garrett was there, stalwart conservative back in the day. Then they redistricted and they added in some towns from Bergen County. They took out some towns from Northwest New Jersey, and they were able to make it into a Democrat district. He wants a federal investigation, an audit of this company, IDEMIA, and all of their contracts with states like New Jersey. And we are finding out right now, as the Department of Justice cites 6,600 non-citizen registrations in the voter roll lawsuit that they have now filed against the state of New Jersey, we are finding that it's not just New Jersey, it's states all across the country. Trump Justice Department, graphic 5, demands records on 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote in New Jersey. But here's the thing. The company behind all this, IDEMIA, says, do not look at us. We're not the problem here. And the governor tried blaming them yesterday by saying it was a software glitch on their part. And they put out a statement and they said, no. We did everything right. Our job is to just simply get the data and then we pass the data on to the state. Quote, IDEMIA works with the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission and has for more than 40 years. In support of the process through which eligible individuals may indicate their interest in registering to vote when applying for or renewing a driver's license or a state-issued identification card. IDEMIA's role is to transmit information through the motor vehicle system. The voter registration is transmitted to the state of New Jersey Department of State, Division of Elections, which is ultimately responsible for verifying eligibility to vote. Information submitted by IDEMIA must still be validated and adjudicated by the Division of Elections. That's right. Exactly. But yesterday, as you know, and we played it on the show, although you may not have heard it because we had a glitch in the matrix. Apple Podcast, for some reason, you were not able to get it. We have fixed the problem. You may have to go and manually search for the last 2 days' episodes, but thank you for your patience with that. I appreciate it. We appreciate it very much. Hopefully it's all better by today. But I played the clips of Governor Mikie Sherrill yesterday, and here's a little bit of the governor and what she said yesterday. Take a listen.
In June of 2023, nearly 3 years before I became governor, a serious software error in New Jersey's motor vehicle system led to the improper voter registration of what we believe to be roughly 6,600 people in our state. When New Jerseyans applied for a driver's license or identification at the MVC, they were asked if they wanted to register to vote. In the case of this error, some individuals indicated that they weren't citizens and weren't eligible to vote, but the software registered them anyway.
The software did it. Let's blame the dog. Let's blame the software. I mean, give me a freaking break. Like, I understand that AI is going to kill us. And there's a story today about OpenAI, ChatGPT. I guess it decided to go crazy in a test, and it turned itself on and became self-aware and decided to do a cyber attack. I mean, what are you going to do? AI is a little quirky like that. But that's not what this is. This isn't the software deciding these are good people here, we're going to register them to vote. No. This was human error or human good job. Like, in other words, this was a human who made sure these people could vote. And I don't put anything past New Jersey because I'm a superstitious man and I've seen it all. And when you had a Democrat governor named Brendan Byrne who would go to Democrat counties and make jokes about how he wants to be buried here so he can remain active in politics, when the Democrats are making jokes about dead people voting, there's a problem. So there's a problem here. Here is Democrat Senator Andy Kim acknowledging that there are voters, but being like, it's no big whoop, no big deal.
But it does represent a pretty big screw up and probably the largest breach of this kind that I could ever cover. What was your reaction to seeing that news today?
Yeah, I heard about it for the first time today as well. And I have to say, look, I mean, this is unacceptable. And this needs to be fixed immediately, and people need to be held accountable for that, especially if they've known this since it's happened a couple years ago. So, yes, when there are mistakes, when there are things that are broken, we need to fix it. But we also need to make sure that we're looking at the problems in the right size, that this is not akin to what Donald Trump was talking about.
Not akin to what Donald Trump is talking about. It's literally what Donald Trump was talking about. It's literally exactly what Donald Trump was talking about. He was talking about the fact that non-citizens, illegal aliens, can register to vote and are registered to vote. Let me put up graphic number 8 for you on the screen. And they asked the question, is this you, Governor Mikie Sherrill? Because Governor Mikie Sherrill signed on to a joint statement from the Democrat Governors Association, and they all came out and they panned Trump's address. Crazy. The stuff of conspiracy. What kind of a loon comes out and says that illegals could be registered to vote? This is just another attempt to stop the elections, to make and it's a murderer's row of Democrat potential 2028 candidates. Josh Shapiro's on there. We played you the clip yesterday of Josh Shapiro saying the president's speech was a crazy ass speech, if you remember. Crazy ass speech. You've got Gretchen Whitmer on there. You've got Gavin Newsom's greasy hair on there. All these Democrat governors signing a letter condemning the president for daring to say that there are illegals who are registered to vote and we must pass the SAVE Act. Well, guess what? We now know there are illegals registered to vote and they're voting and we have to pass the SAVE Act. That's the bottom line. How did we get here? We got here because many years ago, Phil Murphy, in his quest to make New Jersey the California of the East Coast, had a bill expanding access to driver's licenses. Here's a little bit from Murphy signing that law that created this system, that created this nonsense that was able to ensure a software glitch would lead these people to become voters.
This is the law of the land. Governor Murphy held aloft the signed law making New Jersey the 15th state to offer driver's licenses for unauthorized immigrants, electrifying the meeting hall crammed with advocates and immigrant families. Many had worked decades towards this day.
You know, this is all about people's livelihoods and their ability to survive. Folks are sometimes living in the shadows, and this will give them an ability to go out. It'll be so much safer.
I'm very joyful because I know that many people across the state are going to benefit from this.
Christian Dardon from Guatemala is among an estimated 440,000 immigrants who could qualify for a Jersey license. He told us through an interpreter that he's held off having kids in part because he couldn't get a driver's license.
Not being able to take them to school, to the hospital, to church, anywhere is super impactful on their lives.
The law will offer immigrants who can't show lawful U.S. residents a chance to apply for standard New Jersey driver's licenses, not the new Real IDs. They'll have to prove their identity, age, and New Jersey residency, no Social Security card required, pass a driving test, and obtain auto insurance. The license could not be used to fly commercially, enter federal facilities, or vote.
Or vote. That's adorable. That's really cute. That's adorable. But when they were there and they were like, you want to register to vote? And they were like, sure. Do you self-affirm that you're able to vote and you're a citizen? It's like, yeah. And then next thing you know, IDEMIA sends that information over to the state, and the state processes it, and the state goes, yup. Check what? Why? You know, it's like the Y or the N, and they hit the Y on the keyboard, and the people are entered in. And then when they discover it, only because the Trump administration is demanding the information. Let's understand how this software glitch, that's not a glitch. Let's understand how this was uncovered. And this was no glitch. It was uncovered because the Trump administration has been demanding answers, and Mikie Sherrill is trying to cover her you-know-what. That's what this is about. And I think there's more to come. I know there's more to come because I grew up in Jersey politics. And so it's a matter of trying to get ahead of it. So then when the next story breaks, they can go, I mean, we already told you there was a glitch. But there was no glitch because IDEMIA is the company that handles the information, and they have turned around and they have said that there was no glitch. Now, the reason why Congressman Josh Gottheimer wants an audit of IDEMIA is because he wants to play the game that they're the one responsible for this, that this private contractor used by New Jersey Motor Vehicles, it was their screw up. It wasn't that the state was trying to make sure that illegals could vote. Give me a freaking break. We all see through it. We know we see through it. And that's why the Division of Elections manually approved, manually, not through a glitch, not by hitting Y, check all, check everything. They did it on purpose. It was all done that way. And that's why we're in this position right now. This is also the big story of the hour, brought to you by Dr. Mike Veneria, Veneria Dental. Go see him today for your perfect smile. Dr. Mike is the man, and I want to give him a personal thank you because this morning I was supposed to have my cleaning, but I'm up here at Fox News today. They needed me to fill in for Jimmy, and it was like a last-minute thing. So I called up Dr. Mike last night, and I said, hey, can we reschedule? And I hate to do that last minute, but he's such a great guy and such a great supporter and a friend. He was like, no problem. So thank you, Dr. Mike Veneria, for being a great friend and my dentist. And I will reschedule because I got to make sure these teeth are pearly white. Jared, if you ever...
You're at Fox?
Yes.
Fox today?
Oh, did I not? I'm sorry. Yes. Fox News.
Oh, I see it now. I missed.
Yeah. Fox News. I want to make sure we get that part in. Yeah, here today, tomorrow, Friday. No big whoop. So, no. It's not no big deal. Just a couple days in town, just back and forth,
Easy peasy.
So, but I mean, really, in all the years, I thought you were my friend. Not just the executive producer of the show, but I thought we were boys. Like, I thought we were friends.
Okay.
When you played that Phil Murphy clip with no warning, I mean, that was kind of rude. And unfair to Cats, Glass, everyone listening, me with my earpiece in. I mean, that was kind of, I'm just saying, dude,
Had you kind of forgotten what he actually sounded like? Because it caught me off guard.
I guess I did. Yeah, I mean, for years he was always going, like, no, we are New Jersey, and he was always doing that thing, and we're from New Jersey and you're not. But I'd forgotten. Yeah, it's like when you battered spouse syndrome or something, and you forget how terrible they are. I'm a victim here, and I just ignored how awful my former governor, sounded. Can you just play it one more time? Because it's like I got the law of the land.
Governor.
Ow! I'm sorry for your ears.
Sorry.
Never do that again. New Jersey, the law, New Jersey. And you get the snaggle teeth, so it's like, it really comes through because the teeth are everywhere, and the fake hair with the rug on it, what they stapled to his head after they renovated the State House Capitol. They did. They took a piece of old rug from like 1802 and it right in his head.
That's the thing. They're not made like they used to be. You can't do that with. If you got a Home Depot rug, it's not good for 100 years. That's the old.
No.
Yeah.
No. And it's got. I mean, I think George Washington walked on that rug. That's on his head now. It's pretty impressive. Oh man, it's crazy times though, and I'll tell you, it's just the beginning of this. It's gotten national, absolute international condemnation over what's happening right now in New Jersey, and the Trump Department of Justice. They are investigating. Harmeet Dillon putting out a tweet last night, or an X last night, saying we are going to get to the bottom of this. We are now suing in federal court, demanding that New Jersey turn over everything. We want to see it all. We want to see all the voter rolls. But you would think that if, in the spirit of democracy, from the party that's always screaming about the death of democracy, that if my vote can get canceled out by somebody else, that's very antithetical to democracy, isn't it? I mean, if you go to vote and then the person next to you should not be voting, you vote for candidate A and that person votes for candidate B, you've just canceled out that vote. That's not how democracy works. This is what democracy looks like, and that's not it. But the reality is they do want to cancel out my vote. They do. I mean, that's, my heart broke on election day, like your heart broke on election day when Jack Ciattarelli lost. And I didn't predict he was going to win. I predicted it was going to be very, very close and that he could win. Mikie Sherrill got more votes in that election than Kamala Harris did running for president of the United States. Now think about that for a second. From the state that brought you street money, cigarettes, illegals being registered to vote, Democrat governors making jokes about voting when they're dead. In an off-year election for governor, she got more votes than the candidate for president of the United States of America, where I understand New Jersey wasn't in play, but you're still saturated by two media markets, New York and Philadelphia, which was very much in play. And somehow Mikie Sherrill in 2025 got more votes than Kamala Harris did in 2024. I know this little charade. It can't fool a Corleone. But until we get to the bottom of this, and this is why they don't want to get to the bottom of this, we'll never know the truth. We'll never know all the answers. And this is why I appreciate you being so acutely aware of BS when you hear it. So when Josh Gottheimer comes around and says, yeah, I want to do an audit of this IDEMIA company, what he's actually trying to do is he's actually trying to divert attention away from, put up graphic number 7, Jared, if you would, please. Well done by the New York Post, the Jersey Devil. I don't think you can get a better, more priceless cover of Jersey Devil and then a picture of Mikie Sherrill at the bottom of it. Wow. Well done from the front page cover department of the New York Post. They nailed it on that one. And as I think about all this with the Save America Act, and I think about what Jamel Holley said. Jamel Holley, I've known Jamel for a long time. He's a Democrat, but he's one of the last few sane, rational Democrats left in the world, in America. And he said, unfortunately, many of us have long warned that New Jersey needed tighter security measures for our elections and voter registration system. Just 1 week after the governor's knowledge, she has now publicly announced that more than 6,000 non-residents were registered to vote in our state. The situation is far more serious. This is a Democrat again saying this. I hate to deliver more bad news, but the problem extends well beyond those 6,000 cases. It's more. This is precisely why we must pass the SAVE Act. As an original co-sponsor of the voter registration program at the DMV, I am calling for an immediate pause on new voter registrations until stronger safeguards are put in place. Only at the DMV, he says. Years ago, when New Jersey expanded driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants, I and others were assured that these individuals would not be offered or forwarded the option to register to vote. We now later discovered that was not the case. It was a lie. We owe New Jersey residents a full apology and complete transparency, he says. The administration and those involved must come clean. This is not merely a data breach. It is a cover-up. Finally, the Secretary of State, who also serves as Lieutenant Governor and is named in the current lawsuit by the Republican National Committee, must immediately hand over the voter registration maintenance rolls to the Department of Homeland Security for independent review and verification. Lastly, the Department of Justice's Election Division, dun-dun, should assign independent monitors to oversee the entire process of transitioning to a more qualified vendor for the voter registration system at the DMV, because the current vendor's contract should be terminated. Yeah, but you see, that's the part I don't agree with. IDEMIA has put out a statement saying, look, we did our job. Okay, our job is to transmit the data to you. Your job at the state of New Jersey and the Division of Elections is to make sure that the data is accurate, to make sure that the people who say they can vote can vote. You didn't do your job, and you didn't do your job deliberately. I'm saying that. They didn't do it on purpose because they wanted these people to vote. And what did you think was going to happen, Assemblyman, when you voted for a bill to just give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants? And then you turn around and you say, oh, and if you want to vote, it's real easy. We'll just automatically register you. Like, come on. They're like, well, no, I mean, it's not automatic registration. It's kind of like you're automatically registered if you want to be. But unless you tell us you don't want to be, we're just going to assume you want to be. So we're going to register you to vote. And we're just going to take your word for it that you can vote. So you're automatically registering me to vote? No, it's totally up to you. We're just going to automatically register you to vote. It kind of sounds like you're registering me to vote. Well, it's different. Why? Well, because you can really, if you don't want to vote, you don't have to. It's like, what?
Well,
and
Rich,
then the best part is, yes, Jerry.
This happened to me just this week. I was on the New York Times site and I got a pop-up and I meant to click the X, but instead of the X, it said re-sign up for all their newsletters. Same thing. It's a pop-up and you click the X and you go, no, I accidentally just registered all those people to vote. Well, I don't even know how to go back to that now.
There's not even a back button because it just goes away. It just disappears.
It's gone. It could have happened that way.
Glitch, Jared. It's a software glitch. It glitches in the Matrix.
Exactly.
Like our freaking podcast yesterday and the day before at Apple. It's just literally a glitch in the Matrix.
Gone.
That's no joke. Right after we crack the top 200 list of political podcasts in America and make it to the 150 category, all of a sudden Apple's like, yeah, we're not going to push your podcast out anymore. Some people like Flower Auntie and Kerry had to unsubscribe and resubscribe to the podcast to be able to get the episodes, but we don't think you have to do that. But either way, thank you for your patience. It's kind of like that.
We're not blaming any like Kennedy from Fox or anybody else for sabotage.
I'm not ruling it out. I'm totally ruling it out. By ruling it out. By not ruling it out. Kind of like New Jersey registering me to vote. Kind of like that. Oh, look, a cat. We'll be live at the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey on August 7th. I'd love to see you there, starting at 3 p.m. for our live show. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And you'll have all your fellow Zeoli Army members and Zeoli Navy members, since we'll be at the beach. And it's the Grand Hotel of Cape May, Friday, August 7th, starting at 3 p.m. So please come out and join us for that. It would be great to see you there. Mark your calendar. Let me play Abby Phillip from, I believe it's CNN. This is Jesse Arms saying 6,600 non-citizens made it onto the rolls. To me, that is widespread fraud. Abby Phillip of CNN is going to give us a little bit of a percentage here.
6,600 non-citizens made it onto the voter rolls. That's okay. To me is pretty widespread voter fraud.
That's widespread?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty bad if one person who's not a legal citizen in the United States.
The number of registered voters in the state?
New Jersey spends $60 billion over that overall on its budget. So I think if we're seeing...
but I mean, you just said it's widespread. So where's the proof that it's widespread?
6,600 non-citizens made it onto the voter rolls.
That is 0.006% of registered voters in the state. Is it widespread, or is it something that is relatively rare,
You're
Scott?
pounding him over the word widespread. I just would ask you,
Scott,
what is your tolerance for any fraud at all?
Is it widespread?
Absolutely. Over 6,000 people.
What is your bar for widespread?
She said, my bar is I want no tolerance. Okay. I have zero tolerance.
So what is your tolerance for American citizens?
By the way, this isn't the only place this is happening.
What is your tolerance for American citizens whose valid voter registrations are invalidated by incorrect databases? What's your tolerance for that?
I don't have tolerance for any mistakes in the electoral system, including putting non-citizens on the roll.
Imagine that. No tolerance for mistakes in the voting system, or in the case of New Jersey, deliberate in the voting system, deliberately putting these people in to the voting system. And it's not 6,600. Again, it's like my buddy's analogy. When you're dating someone and they give you their number, multiply it by 10. I don't know, Jared, to me that when he told me that yesterday, I laughed so hard. And I said, I'm going to steal this joke. I'm happy to give you credit. He said, please don't. Women hate me enough. I don't want to get credit for it. So I'm free to just use it.
So it's yours.
But,
yeah. No, I wish I could tell you that my number multiplied by 10 is my number, but like I wasn't that successful in college. So good for him.
Good for him. But in the case of New Jersey, multiply it by 10,000. Definitely do that. You'll be okay. Let's talk about Emmons. My great friends over there are going to take great care of your home. When it comes to renovations, that's what Emmons does a fantastic job. Doors, windows, siding, and of course, roofing. They are the Owens Corning Platinum Certified Roofing Company. That means you get a lifetime warranty on the roof. Lifetime warranty. Can't beat that. Can't beat lifetime. I've used Emmons now for 12 years in 2 different homes. And I got to tell you, they delivered for me every time. And they just remodeled our kids' bathroom. Did such a beautiful job on it. And now my wife and I, we've talked about it. We want to have them remodel the master bathroom as well. They use American-made products, and they have the best warranties and the lifetime warranty, which can't beat, and a great crew of people. Matt Kelly, who's the owner, is a good man. I know him very, very well. I've gotten to know him very well over the years. And they will never tell you you need a new roof if you don't. But if you do, like I said, you'll get that lifetime warranty. So reach out to them today by going to emmonsroofing.com, EMMONS, emmonsroofing.com. And remember, trust Emmons and tell them I sent you. We have a lot of other things to discuss today besides New Jersey, but I think we've covered a lot of that for you, and we'll certainly continue to stay all over the story. But I do want to turn our attention to across the river, where the mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdami, has finally come out and admitted that he can't arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. But my favorite, which I didn't get a chance to play yesterday, was when CNN's very own Ellie Honig, and when you've lost CNN's legal analyst, their senior legal analyst, you have a problem. Mamdami had been threatening to arrest Netanyahu ever since he was running for mayor. And this is what CNN senior legal analyst said about the prospect.
So, Ellie, give us a reality check here. Can Mamdani have Netanyahu arrested?
Absolutely not. It is utterly ridiculous for the mayor of New York City to even suggest that he might have the authority to order the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu or any visiting foreign head of state. First of all, the mayor of New York City has zero law enforcement authority. He does not tell the Manhattan DA, the NYPD, who to arrest, who to indict. Second of all, this warrant that we're talking about here was issued by the ICC, the International Criminal Court, which we are not signatories to here in the United States. So that warrant issued by the ICC has zero legal effect here in the United States. In fact, we have a federal law here in the U.S. passed 24 years ago that says, if necessary, the president can send military troops to pull our people and our allies out of the ICC. So that warrant has zero impact. And third and finally, Brianna, the Constitution is quite clear that the conduct of foreign diplomacy, foreign affairs, is entirely up to the federal government. It's certainly not up to local and county governments in New York City or elsewhere. So I know the mayor's having his best lawyers look at this right now. Let me save them some time. You do not have the authority to do this.
Well, now he's admitted as much. He doesn't have the authority to do this. And if he did, it would be kidnapping. As Paul Morrow pointed out in the Wall Street Journal today, Mamdami would be committing an act of a federal crime, kidnapping. But it does make me laugh, though, at the very same guy that doesn't believe that anybody who has a detainer warrant against them by ICE should be turned over to ICE would arrest a world leader if he could, if he could. But here's Mamdami kind of coming clean and saying he can't do it. But at the same time, Netanyahu is a war criminal. He just can't arrest him. But, he wishes he could because he promised he would and he ran on it and he's been saying it for years. But, that reality, when you crash into it, it is a B. Am I right?
Can I say, Rich, that in our prep, normally we go back and forth. You were like, hey, make sure out of this clip, all I need is him calling Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal. Okay. I just at the back of your mind when I play this, you were like, just make sure you get that part. First words out of his mouth.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting
this is like a Sally Struthers commercial.
Maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone, with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came.
It turns out we can't. So, yeah.
Whoops.
So anyway, all those years when I said I would do it, it was just all BS, kind of like free buses, free housing, state-run grocery stores, lowering rent. Just add that to the list of stuff that I said I could do that I can't do. And then you're good. All right. And then check that box right there. Man, I can't watch this, by the way. I think the Fox servers, did I mention I was at Fox News today? I think they blocked it on YouTube. I can see the chat, but I can't see the show. And I don't have my glasses on, but this is why we've been doing premieres lately, so that I can chat along with you, because it's very hard to do that while I'm hosting. So now you understand what our strategy has been lately, which started with my heart surgery, and I couldn't do a full hour. We were worried I couldn't do the full hour. And then it just kind of evolved into me chatting along with everybody. It's kind of fun. So I don't like wearing glasses when I'm on camera. I just don't like doing it. And I'd have to wear glasses to be able to see what the chat is saying. So, and at home, I have a gigantic teleprompter in front of me that makes everything a minimum character of 48 inches high, so that I don't have to wear glasses. I basically use the Hubble telescope now. Which vanity is very important. You know what I mean, Jared? It's very important.
Like you talk a lot about your hair and a lot about how bad it is to have glasses on camera. It's hard to not feel like internalizing that.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I mean, look, I understand, for a lot of people, they might think that it's very vain to hang on, a little powder. Nose is a little red. How's that? Okay, that's better. I understand that people might wonder why I would just put makeup on in the middle of a show like that. Yeah, I'm not ashamed.
Terrible. I blame Jared, Dawn Stanslin, by the way. I blame Dawn for that. You never thought, yeah. All of a sudden, like I hired Dawn Stenslin at PhD, and then like Rich is like doing touch-ups. It's like,
She walks in one day with a bag of makeup and hands it to me and goes, "Here, you need this." I was like, "Well, thanks, Dawn. That's the way to boost a guy's confidence. Here, you need makeup."
Have you thought about wearing makeup? You should.
Yeah. You should really think about covering your face in powder, cream, everything. You really should think about that. And like now, I mean, really right at this moment. Jared, who'd you root for the World Cup, by the way? Did you root for Spain or Argentina?
I guess Spain. A little bit of don't care, but like, when it like Messi's had his chance, and I think they kind of got, I don't know. They seemed like the refs really wanted them in the finals. So, but yeah, kind of didn't care either way. But
is that because you're racist or because you're not racist?
Jesus,
do you know?
I don't.
I'm asking the question. Neither does Jasmine Crockett, apparently, but she nevertheless makes the allegation. I love this clip. I love this clip in so many different ways, but I love it because she has no idea what the hell she's talking about. I really have she literally doesn't know what she's talking about when it came to you rooting for the World Cup. So we're going to miss her when her term is up at the end of the year in Congress. But for now, enjoy one of Jasmine Crockett's greatest hits of finding racism. Remember like the kid in The Sixth Sense who saw dead people everywhere? That's Jasmine Crockett. She just sees racism everywhere and white supremacy everywhere. Take a listen.
The World Cup. The World Cup that captured the imaginations of the entire world when they saw all of these people of color that was playing for all these teams. And ultimately, if you recall, the last two teams, it was Argentina and Spain. And it seemed like the vast majority of the world was rooting for Argentina, or actually against Argentina, right? And why was that? Just give me an explanation if you could guess. If you'll just let them finish the answer.
Spain had the best team. Maybe that's why they were rooting for them.
There's also a racist history that exists.
Mr. Byer, you're recognized.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crockett.
Guys just like shut her down. They were rooting for the team that was racist. It was Argentina. Or was it the other one? Which one was it?
Which one's the non-Hispanic team? I'm being totally serious. Is there one of those two teams that's not Hispanic by every measure of what it means to be Hispanic?
It's racist to root for Argentina, or is it Spain, or is it it's racist to be Spanish, or it's racist to Messi's white. I'm somebody. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Oh, she's terrible at this. She's so bad. If you're going to come out and make an allegation like that, could you at least get the team? This is like me doing sports commentary and having no clue what I'm talking about. You'd expect that from me. Be like, well, the team that won, Argentina, or was it Spain? Who was it? Who won?
Spagentina. Also, I will say when she said she was running for Senate in Texas, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna miss all the stuff she gave us.
Yeah.
She used to
had zero chance of winning, so that means that she's done.
Yep. She is a one-woman content factory, and I'm gonna miss her.
But I'm trying to understand though, when Argentina became a place of white supremacy, like I know the Nazis might have, maybe that was Brazil, might have escaped there, possibly. I don't know.
No, I think she's saying the other way. By the way, yes, they hid Nazis, so bad. We all agree. But she's saying that rooting for Spain is because you want the white people to win. Because
if you root for Spain, you want the white people to win.
That's the one. That's what she thinks.
But they're Spanish. But okay. All right. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. Soccer's stupid. I'm just going to move on to Tri-County Auto and tell you about their great specials and make sure my brain doesn't hurt. Between Phil Murphy yelling and Jasmine Crockett, this has been a show. And now this is my 4th hour of doing radio today, and I remember how exhausting it can be. But Tri-County Auto will put a spring in your snow, a summer boost. So we're in summertime. July 4th, the sale goes through the entire month. And the fireworks are not over, baby. They're just on the lot where you got to go and take advantage of these great specials on Jeeps and Toyotas. That's right. Tri-County Auto, we were just there. We bought a beautiful new Toyota Sienna minivan. I got to tell you, I never thought of myself as a minivan guy. And for years, I made fun of my buddy, Dr. Maz, for having a minivan. I love it. I really do. And it is the Cadillac of minivans. And it's also made in America, which I love. I really do. Toyota's made a massive investment in the United States of America, and they're building more and more cars right here. And at Tri-County Auto, the Krieger family, they are so wonderful, and they stand with our veterans, even donating a beautiful white Jeep to the Travis Manning Foundation for the use of all their veterans programs. It's bigger and better. This month, get up to 20% off a new 2026 Ram 1500 with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, or lease a new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude X for just $398 a month. And you're going to love the savings on Toyotas. Like you can get a new 2026 Toyota Tundra with 2.99% APR financing. Don't wait for the finale. These deals go boom, and then they are gone. Shop online today by going to tricounty.com. Tricounty.com. Look for the gigantic American flag. They are in Limerick and close to King of Prussia, Exton, the main line, everywhere. Tricounty.com. I know that we talk about a lot of different things on the show, and one of the things that I have always long talked about with you is the cover-up involving COVID-19 and how it was not made from a lab. They didn't come from a wet market, an undercooked bat burger with a side of pangolin fries and a raccoon dog aioli. It came from a lab. And I've long said that. I've long believed that. And the cover-up by Peter Daszak from EcoHealth Alliance and the cover-up by Anthony Fauci and all his little minions and how they tried to hide their emails from public, from FOIA requests. Bill Maloogian from Fox News broke a story the other day after Rand Paul, the chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, released internal federal documents, which he says shows the FBI intervened and stopped Customs and Border Patrol from searching and questioning Peter Daszak upon his return to the United States from China at JFK Airport in 2021 during the World Health Organization's investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The documents show that CBP's National Targeting Center had flagged Daszak, president of EcoHealth Alliance, as an extremely high person of interest ahead of his arrival in the United States, citing more than 15 years of collaboration with the WIV, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and his role as principal investigator on NIH grants for coronavirus research in bats. Much of the funding that Daszak receives is put towards gain-of-function research. As you know, that is when they decide to make Frankenstein's monster in a lab so they can decide how they would defeat Frankenstein's monster if nature ever created Frankenstein's monster. So why wait for nature to do it? We'll do it and then figure out if we can beat it. And if we can't, well, you got a pesky little global pandemic on your hands. What are you going to do? I, for one, am not so sure that this whole lettuce diarrhea thing is not some bioweapon or a test run of something. They're saying it's going to hit all 50 states. It's not just Taco Bell. And apparently you can't kill this thing, even if you wash your lettuce really, really good. Really, really good. It still doesn't die. The little parasite eggs are there. So I'm just, again, my Fugazi radar's up on this stuff. I think bioweapons and cyber warfare are clearly the next generation of things. I've always long believed that COVID-19 was deliberately created in a laboratory. And we know from the energy secretary at the time, Secretary Briette said in cables back to the State Department that the Chinese military was involved as early as 2019, that they were in the lab at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Our military was over there in the fall playing the Military World Games. And then they had their first outbreak of a virus of unknown origins that caused respiratory illness. But we're dealing with extremely healthy people, military athletes. So none of them got really sick, but they locked down Wuhan. And then they all pretended like it was no big whoop until they couldn't avoid it anymore because the virus, by the time the winter came around, had spread and spread and spread. Now, when they found out about this, initially they all turned around and said, this is the lab, right? Did we create this? Did we pay for this? Did we do this? And then they all realized they did. So they decided to take all their communications offline, Daszak and his little friends, they write a note in the Journal of Nature, whatever the hell it was called, and they say, this thing came from a wet market in Wuhan, most likely from somebody ordering lunch, right next door to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And they all went with that lie. They knew it was a lie. So Daszak comes back from China in 2021. And instead of inspecting what this guy's bringing into the country, he's deliberately ordered, the Customs and Border Patrol deliberately ordered to let him pass. Why? Why would they let him pass is the question. He's coming back from the hot zone, and God only knows what he's bringing with him. Why would they let him pass? So Chairman Rand Paul says, as a result, the stop, search, and questioning of Daszak never happened. According to an email dated February 4th, 2021, a Customs and Border Patrol official notified officers within CBP, please be advised that FBI New York has requested we do not stop the subject below. And they put his picture up on the screen, and they put all of the background of this about Peter Daszak, the guy from EcoHealth Alliance, who was the guy who got the gain-of-function research going in the first place. And Senator Rand Paul is demanding answers on this, and we should get answers on this. Now, here's what we know. What we know is that we can get these people in front of the committee, and anything that, say, Fauci says now is not covered by the pardon that he was given by Joe Biden. So if he lies to Congress now, when you call him in over the COVID cover-up, what you can actually do is then you could prosecute him for lying to Congress. You do a DOJ referral, and they get the guy on what they got Steve Bannon on, what they got Roger Stone on, what they got all the Trump administration officials on, lying to Congress. Or if he refuses to testify, you can lock him up for that. But that's how you get these guys. He said, I'm exposing the COVID cover-up, and Secretary Kennedy deserves enormous help. Thanks to his help and cooperation in uncovering documents, we learned Biden's FBI stopped Border Patrol from investigating Peter Daszak. Let's not forget, the other people who are in charge now. We have Jay Bhattacharya, who was shut down during the entire COVID thing. He was deplatformed, wasn't allowed to speak. And we have, we've got other great people who were over there who were also deplatformed, including the other guy. Who's the other guy? Marty Makary, our buddy. It was also, again, during COVID-19 shut down. So they're the people in charge now, which is good. And we could probably look at this and we could probably turn around and say, yeah, you know what? That would be great. That would be fantastic if we can get these people and we can actually, hold them accountable. So I would like to see that. I'd also like to see you at the Grand Hotel August 7th. We'll be there live from 3 to 7 p.m., okay? 3 to 7 p.m. Come join us for that. It's going to be a great show at the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. And we'll have a lot of fun there. And it'll be a blast. You need to join us. A little bit closer to home, not from China. Former New York governor, you know him as the Love Gov / nursing home serial killer, Andrew Cuomo, dropped the nuke on socialists. There is a civil war playing out in the Democrat Party right now. A civil war playing out where you've got the establishment trying very hard to stop the socialist takeover by the Democrats in charge. And it's fun to watch, but it's also scary at the same time. Like if John Fetterman decides to leave the Democrat Party, he's probably going to be an independent. He's not going to be a Republican. He's not a Republican. And he'll probably choose to caucus with the Democrats if he does that. And it's probably the only way he could survive a primary challenge. But make no mistake about it, whether it's Michigan or it's Minnesota or it's Wisconsin, the socialists are on the march. The socialists are on the rise. The socialists are winning. And Cuomo is particularly bitter about this because he lost to the guy who said he was going to lock up Netanyahu, Mamdani. And this is what he had to say the other day on Fox News, as a matter of fact, cut number 1.
There is no such thing as free. Someone always pays. This is a dream. This is nirvana. This is utopia. And they're selling to young people who are buying it. But it's not going to work. And the socialist movement is the best thing the Republicans have going for them.
This is the best thing they got going for them. Nothing's free. Everybody's got to pay. I had to pay. I had to pay for touching women in the elevator. It was my culture. I'm Italian. So I grabbed some cheeks. But then the bill comes due, and I have to resign in disgrace. What are you going to do? The bill comes due. Would I do it again? Yes, I'm Italian. And that was, to me, that's still the biggest thing. I mean, I know killing people in nursing homes is bad. It really is. But so is blaming cultural appropriation for your perviness. You know, like that's also bad, in my opinion. I'm just saying, as an Italian, I'm just saying that. It's like, if I got to show ID to get pasta and breadsticks, yes, Jared.
You explain running organized crime as being cultural. Why would this be?
My people like to be organized. We're a very organized people. I don't know what you mean by that. We love to be organized.
Hey,
we like it.
That waste isn't going to manage itself. You know, somebody's got to do it.
It's called waste management for a reason. Am I right? Huh? Got to be managed. Come on. Brandon Gill talking to the Smithsonian Institution Director, Lonnie Bratch. Why are we, do you know the origin of this, of why they brought in the Smithsonian Institution Director? I had to look it up. She has a problem with whiteness, apparently. That's what started this whole thing. I didn't know that. But this is a little bit of Brandon Gill, who many people think looks like Superman. He's got the curl thing going. Smart guy. Always has his answers prepared before he asks the question. Cross-examining the Smithsonian Institution Director. Is it important to be polite?
Excuse me, sir?
Is it important to be polite?
Yes, sir.
It's also interesting because the same mass action toolkit that your organization has been promoting references politeness as a defining characteristic of white supremacy culture. Ma'am, are you a white supremacist?
No, sir.
You're not. Can you help me square why your organization says that being polite is part of being a white supremacist?
I'm not exactly familiar with that passage of the Mass Action Toolkit, which is not
I can show you the passage. It's right here.
That's why I'm never polite. That's why. I turn around and I can tell people, hey, go blank yourself. I don't want to be accused of what, you see, people think I'm rude. I'm not rude. I'm just not a white supremacist. So the next time some jerk says something to you and you tell him to go blank himself, be like, what? Are you a racist? I'm not. If you're having a bad day and you tell somebody to go blank themselves, then you just remind them that this is you showing how you're not racist. And then you're fine. It's the ultimate get out of jail free card, Jared, if you think about it.
I got to tell you, there's a lot of advice that gets thrown around the Rich Zeoli program that maybe maybe not for everyone.
Thank you.
Just
thank you.
You don't have to do everything we say. You can leave it.
But if you want to, it's up to you. All right. We give you options on this program. We give you options. He also wanted to know if Mickey Mouse is racist. I think he is. I've long said that I think the mouse is racist. He and his little wife, who I think is a giant whore. Like Minnie really has everybody fooled. But I think I've long thought she sleeps around. But again, that's me. But anyway, here's Representative Brandon Gill.
Whatever Minnie tells you her number is, you just times that by 10.
That's called bringing it full circle, my friend. Well done.
You're welcome.
Well played.
Is Mickey Mouse racist?
Mickey Mouse is not racist.
It's not racist. According to the Smithsonian Institution, one of your exhibits referenced Mickey Mouse as representing, quote, vestiges of longstanding traditions of blackface minstrelsy. Would you describe that as racist?
No, the historical trajectory of the origins of Mickey Mouse tie directly
so Mickey Mouse is rooted in racism. Is that your testimony?
No, sir, it's rooted in minstrelsy.
Minstrelsy, and you don't think that blackface minstrelsy is racist?
It had certain obvious racial overtones that have been well documented.
Do you think that that's problematic, that Mickey Mouse also has those racial overtones?
It's not for me to determine what's problematic. It's determined to me what's accurate.
Is that right?
That mouse is a big freaking Klansman, if you ask me. I'm just saying.
Okay, wait, hold on. First of all, Disney is a fine corporation, and everything Mickey Mouse has ever done, please don't flag this video. There's no getting around the demonetization of Disney, period. But also, Disney doesn't run that one Mickey Joins the Klan anymore. They pulled that. You can't even find it. That Song of the South, it's like they don't exist.
No, it's true. First of all, Mickey was not in Song of the South. That was Brer Rabbit, but they've whitewashed that from their history. They even took the ride away. They had Splash Mountain.
That was such a good ride.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
It was a great ride. Now it's like
scary.
the Princess and the Frog splash or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not the same. But you know who really... I've long heard Goofy hates the Jews. I don't know if that's true or not.
God.
Again, I might be. Yeah, no, I've heard he's a big anti-Semite. I've heard that. Wow. Many people have said. So I just,
I hope everyone
kidding. Disney, this is all satire. We don't believe any of this stuff. Okay, please don't sue us.
I hope everybody who's live streaming this episode is enjoying it, because this isn't going to be available on YouTube for much longer.
Disney, this is called parody and satire. It's protected under the movie they did about Larry Flint and Hustler magazine. It's under that guy. It's under that. So I'm shining a light on the absurdity of what the Smithsonian director said. I don't particularly believe these things myself, and it's covered by the Woody Harrelson character, and so which I think might have been an actual Supreme Court case. I don't know. It's a good movie, but maybe they also had a Supreme Court case about it. People versus Larry Flint. That would require me to do my homework. Yes.
I would like to point out to Disney that Rich Zeoli is driving this, and that other things that I do on YouTube should not be punished equally just because they're connected. Please.
Please. Also, Disney, I want to remind you, I plan on taking my family there for a vacation. I would hate to be turned away at the gates. All right. So, and I also want to remind you, I spent $4.50 on a freaking ice cube in Disneyland. Yeah, I did.
It's very.
We went. It was delicious ice, but they charged me for. I wanted to. I needed a bourbon, obviously, because I'm at Disneyland and I have my children. And they brought me a bourbon. I said, "Can I have ice?" And they said, "Well, we have the ice balls." I said, "That's great. I want one of those." They go, we have to charge you for it. So you're charging me for ice? It's frozen water. What? $4.50 for a freaking ice ball. So,
good Lord. I would like to point out quickly that you took it. I was pleading with Disney to not hurt me, and you took it into a threat in a very it'd be a shame if me and my family couldn't get into Disneyland. It's just like your natural.
Nice park you got here, Disney. Be a shame if something happened to it. That's all I'm just saying. Be a shame if some of those union guys that work there. I don't know. Hate to have a ride stoppage. $4.50 for a freaking ice cube. When the waitress came to get my glass, there was still a little bit of water at the bottom, like this much. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@RichZeoli show. Actually said to her, can I get that to go? That's very expensive water here. So can you put it in a Ziploc bag for me? I'm carrying around with this. I want to refreeze this when I get home.
Honestly, I cannot. I've paid a lot for water and various things. I don't think I paid anywhere near that, because that's $4.50 for a quarter of a bottle. Right? Not even a quarter of a.
Right. I mean, it's not a lot. It's really not. So, but that said, Disney, please don't use my ice money to sue us. Okay. All right. We're just pointing out the absurdity of the Smithsonian lady, not me, not Jared, certainly not Jared Hart.
Yeah. So thanks. Great.
Certainly not his production company, which is located in. Anyway, I think we have to go, but it's been fun. It's been fun hanging out with you. I would just leave on this note. One more clip of Mikie Sherrill's BS from yesterday, just to kind of catch you up. We did a lot on this. You can always go back and listen to it. You can always hit rewind. You can get the podcast, and please subscribe to the podcast. So just go into Apple, Spotify, search for the Rich Zeoli podcast. That's different from the Rich Zeoli show. Please understand the big difference on that. But here's the governor, the other clip of her BS from yesterday.
Let me be clear. Donald Trump has zero credibility on the issue of election integrity. For the past 10 years, he's cried wolf and peddled bizarre conspiracy theories about fraud with no evidence. I saw the consequences of Trump's lies on January 6th. I was in the Capitol when he and his followers tried to steal the election and put the lives of hundreds of members of our law enforcement at risk.
And then she closed the state down because of a tornado watch. I kid you not. Mikie Sherrill, after giving that BS and trying to spin this and blame it on Donald Trump, after admitting 6,600 non-citizens were able to be registered to vote in New Jersey, and 400 of them did, shut down the state and ran home. You cannot make this up. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is the law of the land.
Let's go.